Okay, you signed a settlement agreement with your son's school or county school in early December. Part of the agreement was for them to pay for up to 200 hours of compensatory and part of his transportation to and from till the end of the school year. His comp ed is for the Wilson Reading Program. Okay, and the contract would involve contracting with his educators for this comp ed. Um, you had an attorney, you calculated the numbers, but then you sit there and say that there's no end in sight because they still haven't contracted with the educators and they haven't started paying for anything. And you said that lawyer told you she didn't think it would take this long. You feel misled, misrepresented, and I am out thousands more because of this. What I don't understand is why you're out anything. Why are you out thousands? Or did you not get your attorney fees recovered, reimbursed, and paid as part of your settlement agreement? Guys, you need to start reading your parental rights. I'm assuming that's what you mean by the thousands of dollars that you're out, unless, of course, you're continuing to pay for private reading services because they haven't started the compensatory hours. But if I have a feeling it's because you paid for representation, and then at your settlement, in your settlement agreement, you didn't have the provision in there to where your attorney fees are reimbursed and or paid for by the school district, which is part of your parental rights if you prevail. And it sounds like to me you prevailed, therefore you were justified in recovery of those fees. Okay? And at that point, I will tell you in our settlement agreements, that's sort of standard that we put that in there. And I'm not sort of standard, it is standard. The other thing is, the devil's in the details on this kind of stuff, but I can tell you if you settled this in December, and I don't know what the status is, let me see when you asked this. Okay, it's been about a month, less than that, but nothing's happened. You settled in December, and this is where they would be in violation of your agreement, okay? And that's what you would need to do, is come back on them and send a demand letter and say, look guys, I don't want to have to compel on this agreement. And I don't know what state you live in, but you would need to look to see what your enforcement procedures are. Whether you have to sit there and go through some additional hurdles within your state to see whether there's this panel that determines whether a violation's occurred before you're allowed to jump this thing into federal court, or request mediation to help enforce your prior agreement. But this is the thing, if you it gets difficult to do those kind of things because you don't want to spend money again on an attorney when you didn't get the result you wanted the first time around to sit there and enforce. But that's where I'm telling you, they're in violation and you're justified. There's a time period that you got to give these people, but if it's been 2 months, 2.5 months, there's really no excuse for why they have not lifted a finger to implement. And I don't know when, if it's done during the summer, well, there's still some time left for them to get all that established. I don't know whether you wrote this in here as to if they would do this after school, if they would do it over the summer, if there's no time period. I always put a time period in there of when the implementation would start. Otherwise, it's ambiguous, and you need to what you need to do is you need to talk to whoever the administrator is in charge and sort of find out what their idea is. Now, here we are entering this realm of unknown with regards to school shutdowns. But that doesn't mean that you can't communicate with the administrators during this time period. Add a comment if you would like, or respond back to my message when I tell you that I've approved the post, and just sort of let me know whether I'm correct. Well, just whether I'm correct. Okay.